So McDonald's is getting sued again, and it used to feel back in the day when I was younger that McDonald's was always getting sued. It seemed like every other week McDonald's was getting hit with some type of lawsuit. And I'll be honest with you, I was aggravated by it. And there's a few reasons why. Number one is I felt that people were just filing lawsuits to file a lawsuit because they could. I felt like the fat cats, the lawyers were the ones that were really the only people making out on a lot of these lawsuits. And the customers were the ones that were really paying the prices for these type of lawsuits. You know, the prices of our sandwiches, our drinks, everything would go up because they had to pay these lawyers. But today, the lawsuit that I'm seeing, I got to be honest with you, I think I'm okay with this. I think that people are fed up, including myself, and we're going to get into it. So the reason why McDonald's is the one that's always getting sued, because they are the big dog in the yard, right? They are the ones with the target on their back. And usually what happens when McDonald's gets hit with something, all the other restaurants, it sort of trickles down. The other restaurants are like, well, if we're doing this, we shouldn't do this anymore. And sometimes that's okay. But the real reason why McDonald's is getting sued this time is because of their most popular sandwich, or one of the most popular items on their menu, and that's the McRib. Now, I've never had a McRib sandwich. To be honest with you, I don't want a McRib sandwich. They might taste good, but I know how to smoke my own rack of ribs. I like real ribs, and that's part of the problem. A lot of the people that were buying the McRib sandwich assumed, because of marketing, that the ribs or the rib sandwich was a real rib sandwich. Now, this article is by Grace Snelling. She did a really good job on this. And the lawsuit, which was filed on December in 2025 in Illinois, alleges that McDonald's was purposely misleading customers with the name and the shape of the McRib. There's 4 plaintiffs here who jointly filed the suit, claiming that the sandwich is advertised to resemble a rack of pork ribs, which McDonald's really does do that. It says McRib. But it states here, despite knowing that the sandwich, in fact, does not contain any meaningful quantity of actual rib meat. Indeed, none at all. Now, here's the claim. They're claiming that you make the sandwich look like a rib, that you call it a rib, but it has absolutely no rib meat in the sandwich itself. Now, there was 2023, a recent lawsuit with BW3s or Buffalo Wild Wings, that the lawsuit claimed the same thing. They claimed that you were calling boneless wings wings, but there was no wing meat in the actual boneless wing. That was taken to court, and it's a good call. I mean, I understand what people are saying, but the court stated that, well, people just know that there's no wing meat in a boneless wing. Right? They know that this is chicken breast that they're using. So they dismissed the case and they let it go. And that's what McDonald's is going to fall back on. They're going to say, well, people should have known that this was not a real rib sandwich. Now, don't get me wrong. There is real pork in the sandwich. It's like a hot dog where they chew everything up and they spit it into the sandwich. So there is real pork in the sandwich. It's just all the stuff that we don't want to see. But a lot of people will also say, well, hot dog that I just talked about, there's no real dogs in that sandwich, right? At least I don't think so. However, what they're stating here in the lawsuit, and by the way, I don't know what they're suing for. I don't know the amount of money, but it says ultimately this lawsuit is about marketing and how we define deceptive marketing practices. Does a rib-shaped seasoned boneless pork patty, as McDonald's describe it, make it a rib? And they're also stating that the reason why they called it a McRib and went along with all this so they could raise the prices, stating that this is rib meat, therefore it's more expensive. It's not just all the junk from the pig, right? It's rib meat. Now, a lot of you might be saying the same thing I said years ago with, this is ridiculous. They're just trying to cash in and they're just trying to make money and they're going to raise the prices even more. But here's the issue. There's a video that I want a lot of you to go check out if you haven't seen. It's called How Restaurants Make Their Commercials, or How Food Commercials Are Made. And there's one thing that you might not have seen in this commercial. Look at this cheeseburger. It looks like a Whopper, right? Look at it. The cheese is melted. You got the plump lettuce and the pickles and the onions and the tomato just oozing out the side of the sandwich. Look how perfectly placed that ketchup and mayonnaise is. It looks delicious. Now, I will tell you, I've never received a Whopper from Burger King that looked anything like this. If anything, the polar opposite of this sandwich. But there's one thing you might haven't seen in this picture, and that is the toothpick here, my friends. You see, when you watch these commercials and you see these sandwiches, you say to yourself, wow, I'm getting hungry. Look at that cheeseburger. Look at that Arby's roast beef sandwich. It's piled to the top. And the roast beef sandwich always looks a little pinkish in the commercials, but when you get there, it's like a dark brown meat. It never looks like what it's supposed to. And there's a reason for that. We have food artistes. And this is a burger that they're making. Look at this guy. He has a steamer melting that cheese perfectly. And what that's going to represent when they take this video for the commercial is that the patty was warm. The cheese was melting over top just perfectly on the edges. Look at that. It's perfect. And I'm going to show you the rest of this cheeseburger. But these are people that are paid to make these sandwiches look good. They're not doing this in the actual restaurant. You're never going to see anybody with the steamer making your cheese look good. Half the time, or most of the time, your bun's falling off, your lettuce is falling off, you got mayonnaise on the bun, you grab it, you got cheese all over your hand. But look at this, he's slicing the pickles perfectly to match the size. He's stacking them up to look perfect. And you're saying to yourself, look, he even got tweezers to put the lettuce on. You're saying to yourself, okay, well, he's proud of what he's making. No. I want you to look at this image. Excuse me. I want you to look at this image. Look how many toothpicks have you ever seen a toothpick in your Whopper before? No, look at the back of this. So look how plump that looks up in front. Look at the toothpicks. Look at the back of this burger. The patty's all hanging over. There's no lettuce, no tomato. The bun's all smashed up. Everything here is up front. Look at the lettuce. If you see the mayonnaise, it might not even be real mayonnaise. There's other videos showing that sometimes they'll use like motor oil for pancake syrup because it looks thick. Or sometimes they'll use Elmer's wood glue for the mayonnaise because it looks thick. But look at the back of this burger. Look at the front. I'm going to click this. You're going to see why the front looks so good because that's where they're filming it. I'll show you just another look. Look how perfect that ketchup is right up on the top. Look at the tomatoes hanging off the sides. There's that cheese that he just steamed. There's the toothpicks in the back. And there's nothing in the back of the sandwich. Everything's piled up in the front. So here he comes. He's bringing the finally prepared sandwich. Here's the video camera to get ready to make look at the front of that. Here he comes with his steamer. He got his steamer ready. He's steaming it up to make it look real good, like it's fresh. They bring that video camera right up. Look at the back of that. Got the toothpicks in the back, and there you go. That's your commercial. How is that not false advertising? Please answer that question. Just one more picture to show how ridiculous this is. This is like, it reminds me of one of those houses built on the beach. I mean, look at the stilts in the back of that burger. This is crazy. This is not how they make sandwiches in the real world. So how is this not false advertising? So let me explain to you why I think I'm okay with this lawsuit. I think for myself, and I'll just speak for myself, I'm tired of their bullshit. I'm tired of their lies and their increasing prices. This used to be okay to me. I knew that my burger was not going to look like the commercial. I didn't realize they went this far with it, but I knew that my burger or my sandwich was not going to look like the sandwich that they made on the Subway commercial. I knew it. It's not going to look close. However, the prices for the food that you got weren't that bad. I would pay $5 for a foot long, and I would be filled up by the time I was done eating that foot long. So I didn't care that this is what they were doing. The only thing I cared about was I was getting a half decent value for that sandwich. It filled me up. It tasted pretty good. And I only paid $5 for it. Same thing with the burgers. But recently, when I went to Burger King, they wanted like $9 for a Whopper. And that was just the sandwich, which is absolutely insane to me. So toppled on top of this, you're already paying outrageous prices for something that is not anywhere near the quality of that price. And now you see this. And people are just like, yeah, I think I'm done with you. I think I'm done with you. The McRib sandwich, you're telling me it's a McRib sandwich. It's shaped like a McRib. You're charging me crazy prices for it because I think there's rib meat in there, but there's nothing in there. It's all a sham. It's one of these commercials. And back in the day, people would defend the restaurants. They would say, you know what? I still like the sandwich. It still tastes pretty freaking good. You know, it's not that expensive. I can go out and buy 4 of these for my family and I won't break the bank. Go buy 4 McRib sandwiches now. What are you paying for it? And people are just like, okay, you want to overcharge me? I don't have your back anymore. They turned away their customers. They upset and pissed off their customers. And their customers are basically like, you know what? I put up with this shit. Fuck you now. I'm done with this. You've hosed me for years and years and years. And then I was a customer that came back to you and forgave all of this shit. But now you're just going to raise the prices on me. So why do I care about you? I'm not going there anymore. And to be honest with you, I hope the lawsuit goes through because I'm tired of the fake advertisement. And that's what this is. It is false advertisement. And to be honest with you, I don't see how it's any different. Like if I was a car dealer and I said, hey, I'm going to run an ad saying that this truck is midnight black with gray sparkling in the enamel and it looks fantastic. There's no dents, there's no scratches, in mint condition. I run that ad. And then all of a sudden the buyer, I say, I like that truck. I go down to the car dealership and the wheels are falling off. There's scratches all over the place. And the metallic paint that was supposed to have the silver sparkle in there actually turned out to be bird shit because the truck was sitting out on the parking lot for 4 months, right? Wouldn't you be like, this false advertisement? Yeah. And I think that's what this is. People are just tired. They're just fed up. They're tired of paying top tier prices and still being lied to. People will forgive companies if they feel that there is still a bit of quality in their product, which these sandwiches, they are not quality. They are smashed pieces of shit that's been sitting under a hot lamp for 4 hours. People will forgive you if they feel that they are getting somewhat of a bargain. But again, you are not getting a bargain by going to any one of these restaurants. Their prices are absolutely insane. They are crazy. So on top of being, taken advantage of price-wise and, the food not being quality like it somewhat used to be back in the day. I mean, it's better than what it is now. At least it feels that way. People are done. And so am I. So I'm hoping that this does change how fast food marketing is conducted in the future. Don't lie to us. If it's a McRib, but there's no rib sandwich in there or no rib in the sandwich, you shouldn't be allowed to say that. You can say that it's a rib-inspired sandwich. People would still buy it. They would still buy it. All you have to do is say made with real pork. You don't have to say it's a rib sandwich and lead people to believe that that's what this is. Either way, I'm not eating one of these. Long story short, though, is I feel like the restaurants are getting what they deserve because they've been putting it out on us for how long? They just don't care about their customer. They just don't care. And we're not going to be there to defend you anymore.